The journey of the mythical hero or heroine starts with departure into some strange unknown, grappling with monsters, with new experiences, with tests and trials, usually finding within oneself powers that one did not think were there, returning home and saying, ah, yes, for the first time, I understand where I am.
This brings back many memories of going to college. They just cared. The faculty, anybody that was, even the people that served us, the night watchman, everybody just loved the students and we loved everybody. It was a great experience. The Skidmore shop was here. The president's house was there. Oh, look, there's a horse. Typical of Saratoga. I think that every day of my life is something that Skidmore helped me with.
The journey is many things. The journey of a student from the beginning of his or her career to the end, that journey that begins as students arrive a little scared.
My name is Bob Decino.
My name is Jennifer Dodge. I'm from Maine.
Jen Jacobs. I'm from Virginia. My name is Clayton Doty, and I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
I'm Chad Kasdan from Lake Forest, Illinois.
My name is Sheldon Solomon. I usually teach in the psychology department, happily not the spelling department.
Let's see if we can remember some of these names. Sam from Brooklyn.
We're going to be developing a new vocabulary.
I want you to do more than just take notes.
No, don't help me.
I want you to think.
What does studying humor give us in studying history? Leslie?
John, Nick, Connie, Heather, Damaris.
How many of you, if you needed to, would be able to figure out the...
We have 600 people over 2 days coming into what we consider to be the core course. It sets the tone for their entire college experience. It's the first organized piece of academic discourse that they're exposed to.
Although Pythagoras' theorem is with us today, Pythagoras himself has been quite defunct for several millennium, and yet we profit by virtue of his efforts.
And I remember coming up Broadway and turning up into the road where the Skidmore sign is now. And it was the beginning for me of an unexpected journey. And the campus reminded me of a large forest with little areas where you could explore, which is what, to me, the Skidmore experience is about. Hi!
Hey, Sean. How are you? Good, so good to see you.
And the ability to translate the abstract ideas into helping to solve real-world problems. I think that's where Skidmore excels.
But I think it's surprising when old facts
No exactamente correcta, sino...
A socialist criticism of capitalism.
Mata itsudemo shikate kudasai.
So this is the deviant subculture that fed into this.
You have Faust and you have Rousseau.
I would suggest that the Petrarch letter to his posterity.
How will they come away with an understanding of romanticism?
We want our students to have to grapple, to grope. You're the ones who have to define what the human experience is. We can't tell that for you. You must find your own way.
Why don't you try D, and then come back here on this longer G. Well, it's always tough coming in as a Filene scholar because you have to perform in front of all your colleagues, plus a lot of important people in the college, and a lot of the community comes in and supports that. So the Filene scholar people get very nervous about this performance.
The academy can be stuffy and it can stick to its old ways. Skidmore is neither. It's never stuffy, and it is sometimes frighteningly willing to try new things.
Daniel, Serafini, Saluli.
I think college theater actually is where it's at.
Oh, you're laughing.
I love it. I can't intellectualize it for you. It just feels good. Let me tell you a story about my friend. His name was Frank.
He's trying to do something, and that spirit interests me. That I look at that as something that can be shaped and worked with.
And he parks across the street, you know, watching it burn on Halloween orange and chimney red.
And now we'll put the controls in. We're taking the linearized DNA and we're cutting it with restriction enzymes.
There's something about doing something where someone teaches you as you go that it's almost like an apprenticeship.
The genes that we're working with are called regulatory genes. It's like a command on a naval ship. You have the captain, and then you have the first officer, etc. Well, it's like there's this whole command system within the genes that we don't really understand exactly how it works.
Science tends to be learned that way, one-on-one.
I love it. It's hands-on work. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
So take your high G.
From early days in high school, this was the place I wanted to go. Small dorms, old Victorian homes, lots of camaraderie, lots of rivalry, fun rivalry. I remember whole new worlds that were open to me.
What delights me is that the feeling that was the most important thing about the old Skidmore is still here. I feel it from the students. I feel it from the faculty.
In our culture, if you don't know something about computers, you should rent space in a cave for the coming century because you'll be unable to function at all.
We'll have to enter all angles in units of pi radians.
We use the computer screen more than we use a blackboard. We use a computer disk more than we use a notebook even. We hand in assignments through electronic mail. It might be just as important to be computer literate as it is to be able to read and write.
So if you take that 30 and you divide it by 180 and then multiply it times the lotus function at pi, you'll get what you want. I've been teaching now for 32 years. And the joy is always watching a student see something for the first time and think, that is really interesting. I'm really glad I had that experience. That's the best part of teaching.
Polis. Polis. That's a perfect word. James, I couldn't have picked a better one myself. Polis. That's the Greek. What does it mean?
It wasn't like an entire state with different cities. It was like a city-state, which is a state in itself, and they're just connected because they're all Greek.
Good. And as we look at the Greeks, we will see that politics was central to the way they looked at themselves, defined themselves, understood themselves.
Just because Aeschylus says something, Plato says something, Sophocles says something, Thucydides says something, does not mean it's legitimate and it's correct. They have to be able to distinguish between what is accurate and what is propaganda.
And I think that's the same spirit. One feels it in the classroom all the time. One surely feels it in faculty who like to put students through tough hoops to make them confront difficult, rigorous obstacles.
Great sentence. This no longer is dessert on the page, right? It has been transformed into what? Fresh, killed rabbit.
It's the greatest high to be in a classroom and be engaged with them in the process of discovering what this story is about.
Well, in this particular case, the drawing of a memory brings the narrator to the realization, the parallel between the animals in the zoo and the people in her childhood. It's a good quality to have in professors when they make you feel like you're teaching them something as well.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old...
I remember sitting in the basement of, I think it's Case Center, night after night for Roy Rothheim's economics class. You could begin to feel the light bulbs going off. As those light bulbs started to go off and as those experiences started to happen, I think all new, entirely new worlds began to open up in terms of what you could do. The client was standing there, I put my arm around the guy and I said, let me put it to you this way. I once had an economics professor who I was trying to write an article for on urban enterprise zones. And I finally walked in, I knew I had it right. I swore to everyone, I was saying, I'm going to Rothheim's office, he's going to be blown away by this paper. You picked it up and you said, yeah, I'd throw it in the garbage now. Why don't you start all over? I think what Skidmore did for me was say it's okay to take risks, that it's okay to be curious, and that you need to be disciplined while you're doing it. And then it's the combination of the two things that really gives you the juice to be able to move forward.
1 and 2 and almost just as written. Okay, maybe. Each time, all the fingers got to come out. See, I'm not seeing it, Josh. Look, 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 look. So it's this, this. See, they're in now and then back out.
He's been a really great guy to work with. That's the reason I came to Skidmore, is to study with him.
So we'll start at the top of the sheet, and let's just see what you come up with.
Yeah, day of the week comes. I can't do 90 days in jail, you know,
Daniel will bounce off the walls. He'll be one thing on Monday, something different on Tuesday, and giving him a taste of how to learn from each rehearsal and use it in the next rehearsal is what it's all about.
We read Lawrence Levine's chapter, Black Laughter, out of Black Culture and Black Consciousness. The most important thing I think that my presence brings is the change in students' minds about how to talk about, how to think about, how to get at stuff that we really don't want to talk about, and we really don't want to deal with.
Sing a song of colleges and tell me where to go. To Dartmouth for her trucking men, or UNH, oh no. To Union Smith or Hamilton, but which is right for me? S-K-I-D-M-O-R-E, the best eternally.
Alum comes from the Latin root to nurture, of course. An alumna is someone who has been nurtured by an institution, but in the ancient world, and I think still, there was a tradition both in Greece and Rome that those who had been nurtured by a parent had a responsibility later in their life to turn around and nurture that parent.
I've recommitted myself to this campus, and it's made me do a lot of reflection. I came from a small inner city high school. I found on campus a real desire to be a community.
Boy, does that thing cook, doesn't it? This is commissioned in the modern Greek Navy, and it is a trireme that's built along the design of 5th century, 4th century Greek ships.
Well, I had no understanding of how important their fleet of Athens was.
They'll make a connection, and I'll see the eyes light up or the hand goes up. When I get those kinds of reactions, I know I've hit something.
When he starts talking about a battle, you just get on the edge of your seat and you start like, ah.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Weekend comes as I go home, ready to race to you. Just like that on the left side. Share them with me.
Goodbye, gray sky, hello, blue. 'Cause nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, can't be wrong. Rockin' and rollin' all week long.
Get up now. These days are hard. Share them with me.
I came to Skidmore and I was on financial aid. It represented a sufficient amount so that I was able to attend here, which I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. This is very important to me. I want to be able to do something for other people. It's not just money, although I do what I can as far as that's concerned, but it's really how can I, given the experiences that I've had, take that and be able to turn it into something meaningful, some sort of a contribution back to this school, back to the people who either are here today or are going to come here in the future.
And that's what this campaign is all about. It is for professorships, it is for faculty support, it's for student-faculty collaborative research, it's for student volunteer programs, it's for programs, it's for capitalizing on this remarkable facility that we have here. It's the next stage in the journey.
Oh, this is a big deal tonight. It means that he has to kind of get out there and show his stuff to everybody. Well, I'm a little nervous.
How nervous? Like, when I, like 10 minutes before the concert, I'm about to throw up. It's like that.
All the things we talked about happened, and the timing was good, and I was very happy.
Happy with what I did. I mean, I put a lot of work into it.
Hi there, I'm David Porter. Yeah, I met you at the... It was fabulous. Really, wonderful.
This is success. Yeah, it's like amazing.
So if there's enzymes present, they will degrade the protein and produce the white bands.
There's this whole other set of values that have to do with her growing in self-confidence and really feeling that she knows how to do things. Well, this is a real culmination. You know, you spent like about 2 months learning how to do it, and then when it works, it feels real good.
I make them work. And I make them work at what the play demands of them constantly.
The day of the week comes, I can't do 90 days in jail standing on my head, you know. So I look for different work.
It's larger than just, oh, I did a good job. I think they recognize a change in their own sense of their power as human beings, their sense of their bodies, their alertness to issues that the play brought up. They're more awake. And to see that happen to them, I feel like I have kids, you know? They give me big presents.
What I want, above all, is for the journey during their 4 years here to be as exciting as possible. And when students go across the platform at graduation, one realizes the journey that they have carried.
Andrew, Antonio, farewell, my friends. Come back to see us often. You have served us wonderfully well. May you serve the world as well, and we have confidence that you will do so.
What Skidmore instills in people and provides to people is something more than just books. It's something more than just academics. It has all those things, but it's more than that. There's a wholeness to the school. It has a core set of values at the heart of the institution that people long after they graduate can remember and can talk about and still believe in.